There we go. I took a bit of a short hiatus, a short little break. But right now, what we're doing is we're just simply world building. So I already have the map that I'm going to be using. I'm just simply sharing this. So what this is that quite simply I have this picture here that I've been editing. As you can tell on the right hand side, I have a shit ton of layers. And that's because I've been making sure that I label things appropriately, right? So what it is that there were some areas I didn't really want, so I got rid of them entirely. So I just kind of deleted them and then like fudged it to make it like look like as if nothing's really there. It's kind of hard to tell in some areas. In some areas, it's very obvious, like Lost Lake of Souls. I think this was the Camp of William the Just. Yeah, I deleted that. I was like, I don't want this shit. There was like one that was like Seraphan Stronghold. Didn't want it. Deleted it. So you may be wondering, why am I deleting certain areas? And the reason why is because I don't want certain areas to be in because they don't match the time period. Because what it is that this is set like around 500 years into Kane's empire, so this is like midway through it. He owns most of the empire. We don't really know much about like when did Raziel kind of fall, but all we knew is that Raziel fell and then many hundreds of years passed and he resurfaced, and that's what Soul Reaver 1 takes place. This is that like intermediate area between Kane Empire being created and then 1,000 years later Raziel falls, because Raziel served for a millennia. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our trusty Google Drive and we are going to start world building. So we're going to start designing locations of interest. We're going to also do factions. This is what I'm going to name this one. Faction ranks. Because this is going to be rather easy for the vampires, because the vampires are all part of a legion. I think that the vampires should pretty much just have the same ranks. So that way when the vampires talk to each other, they go, yeah, I'm an elder Rahabim. And everyone goes, oh, you're an elder Rahabim. Okay, I don't really know much about the Rahabim, but I know elder is a rank, and I know you've earned the highest position. I also think that we should do sub ranks that are unique to the clans. So you could be the elder blank Rahabim, and that blank could be a specific rank that was given to you, as in like you are in control of this group, or you are in control of this segment of the Rahabim, as like a way of designating. So that way when someone tells you, oh yes, chief blah blah blah, you go chief. That's weird. And then you realize, oh, chief, because he's around the wasteland where a bunch of tribals are. It's like, okay, elder, chief, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, because he rules this area. So that's the kind of thing we're going to be doing. One of the issues I have is that some of the words don't really, they're not really that readable. And for some reason on this map, some of the dots are just there. They're just dots with no thing on them. The city of Doomahim, I think I accidentally deleted, so I kind of re-put it back in there. But yeah, there's like dots with nothing on them. And I look at the other map. Let's see. This one. And I can see like, oh, Malek's Bastion, Human Citadel. I don't want those. Get those the fuck out of here. The only thing that's kind of weird is some of these flags and symbols, like Fane. According to this map here that someone did, I think it was Baziel, someone like that, Baziel. Thanks to them that we even have this map. But some of these locations don't make sense to me because I don't recall these places being in the games. Like Fane, Fane. It's owned by the Razielum. Okay. And I'm trying to think, like, Fane, is that the thing where the Razielum hid their kids? I can't remember. And this is one of those things where, like, the Wikipedia is nice is because I usually hate Wikipedias, and I tell people that. I say steer clear of Wikipedias. When it comes to Legacy of Kain, though, what's interesting about the Wikipedias is that it was made by their community, so they actually did pour a lot of love into it. You're still missing the details, obviously, and that's more intentional, so that way you get the better story by actually playing the game. But Bane. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, like this one I had to look up. I was like, Valeholm? Where the fuck is Valeholm? And it turns out Valeholm was a scrapped. It was a deleted thing from Blood Omen 2. Because I was looking at where is it? I was like, yeah, Valeholm. Here it is. I was like, Valeholm? Where the fuck was that? And I was thinking, dude, I was going through my memory banks, dude. Oh my god. I felt like R2D2 going through like the 3 fucking wars that he witnessed the galaxy get plunged into. I was like, what? Where the fuck is Valeholm? And I was trying to think, because mind you, I played the original Blood Omen game. And that's where I kept thinking of it. I was looking at this and I was like, where the fuck is Valeholm on this? I couldn't find it, you know. And it turns out that's why. It's because it was a deleted thing. And when I was reading the behind the scenes on this, I was like, you know what? This isn't too bad. And then it reminded me of Nosgoth, which is where we see the Iron Guard kind of appear. So because of that, that's why I'm keeping it. Is I'm like, oh, you know, that actually makes sense. A lot of the cities we're going to do is ruins. So Valeholm is going to be a ruin. That's for sure. We're going to do that. Meridian is going to be a ruin. We're going to leave it as is. It's going to be a destroyed. So this is destroyed. This is destroyed. Willendorf, destroyed. Avernus, destroyed. A lot of places are going to be ruins. And the reason why is because there's going to be other areas that are colonized. Like Corhagen is going to be ruins. But you're going to see, like, I put in my own custom place. Schmeidefell. Yeah, that's it. Schmeidefell. Port Searchlight. These are going to be places that I'm creating. 100% my creation. And these are just areas to kind of color the map. So you see there's more life to it. So right now, Corhagen is there. Corhagen's not much. I am hoping to continue the stuff, though, from the Blood Omen 1, where in Blood Omen 1, when we played, some of these cities were hit with plagues. I want to continue that. So if you go back to those cities, now there's nobody there. And there's still zombies. There's still plagued creatures there. There's still mutants running rampant. And if you're playing as a human, your goal is to kind of clear these cities out and try to refurbish them. Because after all, these cities were never sieged. These cities are clear, except for Avernus. Avernus was destroyed by demons. But Corhagen, I mean, it's got walls. It's got everything. Shelter, source of water, some food. All it has, though, is a shit ton of zombies. Kill the zombies out. clean the place up because it may have diseases, and then move in. And once you move into Corhagen, that's it. You now have a established city that the vampires could try to drive you out of. Because right now, that's kind of the point between the two campaigns, is that I'm going to leave the map like this. And the point for leaving the map like this is that... should we fill it? I don't want to fill it, because then it's going to cover the whole fucking thing. Let's just add an underline so that way people can see it better. Yeah, let's leave the map like this. And then we'll color it for the vampire side, and then we'll color it for the human side. Like the humans, I'm going to probably add a bunch of things over here, a bunch of things down here, a bunch of things over here. And then for the vampires, I'm going to put a lot of stuff over here, a lot of stuff over here, stuff over here. Like, I'm going to be putting stuff so that way we would have two different maps. One map for the humans, one map for the vampires, and then just a broad generalized map. And this broad generalized map just has stuff that pretty much everyone knows where things are. Like the Razielum Stronghold, everyone knows where the Razielum Stronghold is. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Thank you. 3,000 by 2,000, beautiful. Let's go here. That's generalized. Beautiful. So we're going to go to our open world of Nosgoth. Beautiful. So there's already a bit of a difference, you can tell. Like there's a lot of emptiness, stuff like that. But then you see here, and there's a bit more life going on. Now let's work on the vampire side. So, how should we do this? What I think we should do for the vampires is we should have like something up here, and we make it like a there we go. There we go. We're gonna put this as so I have this area, Hell Falls. That's going to be a Terrellum area. I want this area to be kind of like a Melkahim area. So Melkahim, I have Necropolis, Cemetery. Mortis is no longer. but I'm kind of curious about this area. What should I make it? Should I just make it generalized? I think generalized would be best. Um, oh man, I'm trying to think of like another name for steel. Hmm. Denim. That's what we'll name it. Denim. There we go, denim. And then we're going to do coast. Thank you. I like the style of coast. So we're going to quickly go over here. All the areas that we're creating, I'm trying to write lore for them. So here we're going to write denim. All right. No. Let's say. So denim. Denim steel. I was gonna say ores, as in like OARS. Ores. Yeah, guys, we're mining the fishing boat ores. Whew. All right, there we go. So, a mining city far up northwest, known for its denim quality steel it exports. The city was founded by a collection of Legion troops after its discovery of rich iron ores in the early days of the conquest. Life among the vampires here is about hard work and forging new ores into dark Renaissance steel ingots for which to be utilized by the Empire. The very arts of dark Renaissance steel making originated from here. So, as to nobody's surprise, the clansmen who founded this region have become extraordinarily wealthy, to the point of establishing their own clans. There we go. So already we've done a bit of world building, like there's a bunch of minor clans. Here it is. Minor clans. I had these minor clans written down like 2 years ago, I want to say. 3 years ago? 3. So we saw these 3 clans in the Bloodhaven campaign because it was a Razielum city. So we saw the Custodia, we saw the Bastiliae, and then we saw the Eluvis. The Eluvis got absolutely fucked for what they did. The Bastiliae, they own Bloodhaven, and then the Custodia, they're just pretty much the muscle. So besides that, we have them. Then we have the Dumahim minor clans, the Rispera. And then we have the Posthumus. And then Irvalal. We have Terellum. The Terellum one we actually did see. We saw one of them. So there was a giant Terellum warrior, and he was from Tiranoc. So it's like, okay, Tiranoc. It is a clan of only tyrants. That's right. To join this clan, you have to be Tiranoc. So you have to be a Terellum, which is one requirement. And then 2, you have to be a tyrant. So you can't just be any vampire who's a tyrant. Nope. You have to be a specific Terellum tyrant to join it. Because the buff they get is that they get 1 extra armor from each Dark Renaissance steel piece. And I'll put and damage. Because that's their boon. So they get like -1 to a stat. But on the flip side, they get higher armor rating. So that's going to increase their armor rating by 5. And if they're wearing master crafted gear, they're going to be amazing. They're going to be Hilden level. They will literally have 25 armor rating. It will be insane to watch a Tiranoc go toe to toe with a fucking goddamn Hilden. You know what? We'll put Tiranoc in denim. My leg's itching. Hold on. Alright. Creator and elder of Clan Tiranoc is. We're going to go with the name. Corcado. Is Corcado. Corcado the Unstoppable. Alright, there we go. One such clan is the all-tyrant Terellum clan of Tiranoc. Creator and elder of Clan Tiranoc is Corcadal, the Unstoppable. He is famed for never failing a charge and never leaving a battlefield unbloodied. Why is that coming up wrong? Unblooded. Sounds good. So there, we have that. If you guys do have suggestions, like you guys have a really cool clan idea or something, please comment now in the stream so I can add it, or later after the stream's over so I can add it as well. Some ideas though, I'm going to just simply message you back and say, you can do this yourself, you know, because some clan ideas I have a very hard time thinking of how they could organically, naturally be created. Whereas some people be like, oh yeah, I want a clan that's all dual wielding. Their dual wielding weapons are always enchanted with poison. They're always blah, blah. It's like, how would that naturally come about? Like, I can understand the point of like all dual wielding. Yeah, you got me on there. That sounds really cool. But then you start going on and on about stuff. It's like, well, now we're kind of reaching like weird territory. So it's kind of where it's like, I don't mind you creating that clan in the game, but for me to put it in the game, it would be kind of weird. I don't know. Because some people do like really crazy shit. When they message me like their own homebrew stuff, I'm always like, this is a bit of a run on sentence. How's it going, Green Raptor? How's it going? Yeah, these sub clan ideas is I don't know if you've read the codex that I've written. So if we go to species codex and we go to vampire, where do we go? Clans. There we go. So whenever you start a clan, yeah, it's okay, Green Raptor, if you ask a question, it's fine. So if you ever start your own clan, you take a minus to something. Because as you can see here, if you're a Terellum who decides to start your own clan, you won't suffer the debuffs of your clan anymore. So whatever your debuff is, you lose it, which is nice. But then you lose a stat point. Stat points are very hard to come by, and to lose one can be a bit of a risk. But you also lose the benefits. Like the Duma hymn, they don't get a stat point. So for them to lose a stat point is like, that's really bad. And then they also lose their skill points too, because that's their skills. But and then from here you just choose something. You could do 1 stat point and 2 skill points, or 2 stat points, or 2 skill points with a boon. A boon is a mechanic that reduces rune cost by spells by 2, or having a +1 modifier towards a skill, or having a -2 wounds from a source. You could be a Terellum Mage Minor clan that has +2 magic skill and takes -2 magic damage. That's that skill and a boon. Really nice. Or Razielum Assassins with +2 perception. That's the 2 stats. Cannot have boons like the Duma hymn where they are immune to modifier penalties to all weapons, but you can choose 1 skill to be immune from. So that's the thing about these minor clans, is you have to remember it's always like 1 stat and 2 skill points. But you are losing a stat point. You could always, lose a stat point and then refill it, which is what I'm going to do here for the Tyrannok, probably. Where did I put Tyrannok? So they get a boon, but they don't get... so they need 2 skill points. Good thing I spotted that. +2 to 2-hander weapons. No, not 2-hander weapons. Melee proficiency. There we go. So what do you mean, Green Raptor, by the Cabal in Blood Omen 2? Do you mean like the Cabal has their own agenda and stuff? Because with the sub-clans, the way I have it figured out is you all come from a legion. That could be the Rahabim, the Razielum, whatever. If you create your own clan, which is a minor faction, that minor faction can operate independently. And you could try to carve out your own name. You could even take on the Legion itself and say, you know what? We're a bunch of Razielums who hate Razielums. And that could be your shtick. That's fine with me. And that's the point, is that when you create a clan, you're creating your own political foothill. You're creating your own zone to exist in. Yeah, exactly. So, now the minor clans aren't just restricted to, oh, if it's a Rahabim minor clan, only Rahabims can join. No. The way I've done it is anyone can join a clan, but they still take a minus to whatever stat point that they had to take a minus from. So in this case, if I create a clan and I'm a Melkahim, and I say, okay, I'm going to take a reduction in my strength stat. So now my strength is 4. You could be a Terellum who joins my minor clan. And despite the fact you're a Terellum, you can still join my clan and get the buffs, but you lose 1 strength point. Now, Terellums have 6 strength anyway, so he'll just be at 5 strength. Big whoop, it's not a big change. But that's the way it's done. And the reason for that is so that way it's more fluid. So that way players of different origins can link together and say, you know what, let's all create a clan together. Righto, my boy. Go right ahead. Like, here's the Nagaryavosh. The Nagaryavosh tribe is a tribe of Terellums. I mean, a clan, not a tribe. Clan of Terellums. They get +2 to cunning skill and +1 perception. Can you imagine that? Some tall ass, big as fuck assassin. So, yeah, you can have all sorts of clans. I don't really care what. But the only thing is that if you try to be a vampire clan who attacks the Empire, you're going to be in for a very, very bad time. And the reason why is because you're basically free real estate. I got a burp. Oof. Because think about it. If there's like 6 legions, 6 clans, and then each of those clans have 3 or more minor clans underneath them, and then you're a random minor clan who owns a city or a village, and you declare, you know what? Fuck everybody. I'm going to be independent of the Empire. Every single clan, every single sub-clan is going to try to kill you, not because they care, not because they're like, oh, this traitorous filth. No, they're gonna kill you because that means that your property is up for sale. That if they kill you, they get your property. So they're not killing you because they care. Some might, but majority of the time they're killing you just because they want your land. And it's one of those things where Cain, when we see Cain in Blood Omen 1 and Soul Reaver, it seems that he was relatively passive. He didn't really care what happened in his court. He always found it amusing. And he always demanded meritocracy. So people who were smart enough to cut their way to the top, he would give them gifts and be like, yeah, good job, good on you. Good job being ruthless, good job being this. But just never question my authority. And that's where, if you read the Soul Reaver 1 game manual, they even talk about how the Melkahim, an entire clan, the Melkahim, almost got wiped out a few times by minor clans. And it's not a surprise they were the weakest. So if these minor clans are able to take on the biggest clan, then you, a player, may say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to say, okay, good luck. Good luck. Like just now, we had a live stream today where Fuddy decided to attack the Torlshank tribe and he died. He got absolutely brutaled. But it was fun. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like once the Raziel were declared traitors, boom, all that property was free real estate. That shit was free gains. Let's do all the clans. Second clan is the... Yeah, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 clans. So that's 6 factions that are in the city of Denim. So let's think. I think Custodia would be a good one. Because Custodia has strength in melee, which makes sense if you're in a village where all you're doing is simply mining. But the problem is that Tyrannok is here. So I think Eluvis might be better. Because Eluvis got kicked out of Bloodhaven during the last campaign. So Eluvis would make sense. No, you're totally fine, Green Raptor. I actually want you to keep asking me questions. Because then it allows me to just talk and ramble about this game that I've spent like 3 years designing. Like as a vampire, you can buy a cape. Because you notice that Raziel and all of his brothers have capes. And capes, they give you nice buffs. They actually double your clan buff. So if your clan is like the Torellum, where you get 1 plus strength and 1 plus endurance, and you buy a cape, now it's 2 plus strength, 2 plus endurance. It's like, ooh, that's sexy. So there's a big reason to buy a cape. Not just because it looks cool, but it's because it's a status thing. It increases your strength and such. Really cool. So there's a lot of like cool things I put in the game. Like let me go to humans. So humans, I have it where humans are actually very fluid. So humans can play like a vampire. Humans can play like the Hilden. Humans could just play their own way. That's the design of the humans, is that they are able to do things. Like they can become a vampire. They can worship gods. And it's under here, under god worship, that a human can decide to be a vampire worshiper, worshipping one of the clans or worshipping Cain, but doing so gives negative penalties towards other humans, but only gives a slight positive relation from the vampires. Worshipping them as gods may give access to vampirism or give items of legendary status. Vampire worshippers can wear Dark Renaissance steel items. Humans are not allowed to wear Dark Renaissance steel. If you're a vampire worshipper, you can, and it's really cool. And if a human finds the Hilden more his playstyle, he can join them as a servant under the Lord and Servant playstyle, but he will never be able to become the Lord of a Hilden. So you could play both styles, the Hilden mechanics of Lord and Servant, or the vampire mechanics. Either way is yours. But yeah, that's kind of the point, is that like here's some of the example gods I made. Anaya, goddess of the moonlight. You get 2+ healing to all your actions, and you can do a ritual to receive Anaya's blessing to get 1 extra intelligence point. Or Kirkvold, god of stone. You get +4 armor to shields only. Gives a +2 melee or ranged modifier. Scales with devotion. And chance to do a ritual to receive permanent armor increases. That's good. That's good as fuck. That's what you want. Humans are designed to be the weakest, but they have the potential to rise to be really, really strong. But they're still human, so they're still weak as fuck. But that's one of the cool things I've designed. There's been a lot of designing that I've been doing. Second clan is the ever scribing, ever scroll keeping clan of Elubis. Elubis recently lost their clan leader in Bloodhaven. So the Elder God does exist, yes. And that's mostly under the vampire thing. So vampire gods are chosen by either worshipping Cain, the Dark Emperor who resurrected the vampires, or your clan leader. Your clan leader could be like Terrell, Duma. Worship gives you items, as your deity may assign you a personal mission. And completing such will grant money, land, and items. Some rumors are abound about a hidden god, a god of elder status. Worship of him provides stat boost and boons for spirit realm encounters. These buffs can be anything GM approves of, but you can follow along the lines of making players do bonus damage to spirit entities, allowing players to phase through the realms, allowing players to come to the spirit realm fully armored. So you can worship the elder god, yes. Mostly as a vampire, though. Not so much as a human. As a human, there's an item, and I can't remember the name, but it's a really cursed item. But essentially, the armor will talk to you, and the armor will give you amazing stats and amazing skills. It will make you a god amongst men. But if you can't do what the armor wants you to do, the armor will slowly kill you. Slowly. Like, one of the cool things that I had designed in it was, let's say you and your human followers are trying to rescue somebody. You rescue the guy, and it turns out he has a wife and kid that's being held as slaves in a nearby camp. When you go there, your armor speaks to you and says, slay the child. If you refuse, the armor is going to start sucking your strength away. So now you're permanently losing strength. And when you try to scream, the armor is going to start blocking your mouth so you can't speak. And the only way to do it is to follow the armor's commands. If you keep refusing, though, the armor will just keep sucking you and sucking you until you're unable to move, unable to walk, unable to breathe, and it's gonna keep sucking on you. Of course, the armor cannot be taken off, so once you wear it, that's it. And it comes as like a full suit, and it's a really good suit of armor, and it's really powerful. Problem is, it's gonna make you do things that you're not gonna want to do. And it's like, fuck, what do I do? Because this armor makes me like stronger than vampires. And this armor allows me to survive if I get killed. But this armor makes me kill people or do things to sabotage people that I don't know the consequences of. Like, you may have killed this guy's child, and it turns out because you killed the guy's child, he doesn't become a general. He doesn't become a hero to bring about humanity's return. Instead, the vampires dwindle and die, and so too does humanity because you guys didn't get that leader. Stuff like that. Exactly. That's the reason why I did that. Is because Mobius doesn't really know who the Elder God is, and that's why I wanted to keep the humans out of the loop. So they don't really know who the Elder God is, but they know he's some strange old entity that helps them. So they don't know that. It's a really cool idea though. It's really dark. There we go. So Eluvis recently lost their clan leader in Bloodhaven and have such been in negotiations over who their elders can become the leader. Current bets are on Eve, a long-standing member of the clan who once found an important old document inside an abandoned human library that showed in ink that one of the Eluvis was a descendant of a fruitful mine shaft, thereby granting them rights to the mine. The whole point of the Eluvis is that they're basically scribes and they monitor taxes very, very closely. Let me zoom in a bit so it's easier to read on your end. But yeah, the whole point of the Eluvis is that they do that shit. Is that they scribe and scribble and they overlook all the taxing and documentations and make sure everything is right. And they also fudge the numbers sometimes. Sometimes. That's what recently got them to lose their clan leader, is that he was caught hiding the deaths of vampire warriors. So that way the governor of Bloodhaven could enact vile magics to make these rather weak puppets. And Kane approved of it only because he was curious to see what would happen. He knew it wasn't going to like hold water, but still. Yeah, librarians. Because that's sort of the thing, is that when it came to the demon realm, right? When I designed the demon realm, that is all my works. I am a very creative person. I can come up with really cool stories and really cool stuff really easily. And writing is not my profession. I'm a nurse. So, because I'm a nurse, it was just one of those things where I'm very well read. So, I sort of answered it already at the beginning of the stream, but Kane views the subclans as simply upstarts, and he believes in meritocracy. So, if these subclans have the merits to actually overthrow one of his sons, he's not going to stop it. That's kind of like the whole point of Kane, is that Kane believes if you don't have the merits to hold your station, then you don't deserve it. Get the fuck out. Like the king of Willendorf, when he was consumed with grief over the fact that his daughter's in a coma, Kane full on said to them, he's like, yeah, you should lose your crown, because if you were in my court, you would have lost your position already. You shouldn't give in to your emotions. You shouldn't give up on your station. The second candidate is the honorable mage known as Telon. Telon is famed for discovering 399 tax evasions in the very first year of service to the Empire. Many of the clans despise him, but he has high friends who support the Empire as a whole. So there we go. So we have this really interesting dilemma where the clan of Eluvis is stuck between two leaders. One who will give them personal prosperity, which is Eve, and Eve will give them personal prosperity because she will be able to get them more resources, like discovering more mine shafts, discovering more everything. And then you have Telon. Telon is a mage who he has high friends inside the Empire who don't really care about their clans. So to them, being a Duma doesn't mean shit. Being a Zephon doesn't mean anything to them. They're fanatically loyal to just Kane himself. These are high ranking members who would be able to give him the resources of the Empire as a whole, so that way the clan is not stuck to just their resources. Both are really tight contenders, because you can imagine one is improving the clan, the other one is just getting more friends for the clan. Both are good options, but that's kind of the dilemma we just created. Third clan. What was the other clan that I said it was? Yeah, Irvalo. Irvalo. So there we go. So we didn't put stats for them, but we'll do it now. So we're going to do +1 perception and +2 to ranged proficiency. There we go. Irvelo. Can't spell hole for shit. So, when it comes to me, I prefer not to do that. I may do writing, so you may receive letters from these people, but I wouldn't do anything like that. And the reason why is because, in my mind, the brothers and Cain himself, so the Cain and all of his sons, are so high up the totem pole as far as like dangerous, and so high up the totem pole as in like they are so important to the story that I would never allow them to be in the game. I would always have them writing letters, and maybe, yeah, you know, a guard or so who actually does guard him, but you can never approach them. You can never do anything like that. You may have a really prosperous clan, but in the end, I do want there to be like some differences, some balances, because it's kind of like Star Wars Galaxies. I don't know if you've ever played this game. It was a really, really old MMO. But Star Wars Galaxies had Darth Vader in it. You could see the Emperor. And you could join the Rebels or join the Empire. Well, if you're part of the Rebels and you see Darth Vader stand there, you could attack if you want. But Darth Vader was literally programmed to be immortal. Like, you just can't kill him. And that's pretty much the same thing I would treat it here, is only because I don't want there to be alternations like that crazy. And I also don't want to pretend like I know, oh, this is exactly how Duma would have reacted, or oh, I know exactly how Raziel would have reacted. No, I don't. So I'm not going to pretend. So therefore, I'm just going to kind of get them out of the way and just make it where they just write letters like, oh, I see you're doing good work. I'm hiring your clan out to clear out this cave for me. Clear out this cave, the Raziel will support you. Yeah, exactly. Now, some people who think that they know the game really, really well, they think that they understand Cain and Raziel and Duma and Zephon, and are like, I know exactly how they would respond in such a situation. You could create your own game. You can create your own world. I hope you do. I want to see it. Because I'm very curious to see other people's perspectives on this game that I created. Because there's many rules that I wrote down that could be interpreted differently. Like when I say something like, oh, crossbows do 2+ damage, someone may say, oh, 2 plus damage. Then that means guns must do 4 plus damage. It says 3 on here, but I'm going to say 4. And then their table kind of changes. That's fine with me. I don't mind. I just created a template for you, the player, to maybe make your own campaign, get with your own friends, and then have fun. That's all I care about, is that you're having fun. If you're not, change the rules. Change it the way you want it to be. That's fine with me. I don't care. In fact, I hope that if you change the rules and you link it to me and go, yeah, what we changed was this. And I'm not going to change my rules because that's what works for your group. I'm just going to find it very interesting and I'll be like, ooh, that might be fun to play with every now and again. It's kind of like a Uno. Like when people play Uno, some people play Uno where if someone puts down a draw 4 wild card, you could put another draw 4 on it, so the next guy has to draw 8. That's totally fine. In my book, hey, that's the way you want to play, that's the way you want to play. But the Uno rules says you can't do that. You can't do a draw 4 with a draw 4. But to me, I'm like, dude, it's whatever's fun for the table. If everyone is having fun, I don't care what they do. So we got Duma, Raziel, Terrell, now Rahabam. We'll do the Urgalim. Urgalim. See, I wrote this back in like alpha. So I have to kind of edit these as I'm like reading them. And I'm like, that's not right. But we'll see. Like right now, I'm going to leave this as is. The Biknawa. So Green Reaper, there was a live stream I made 3 years ago, maybe. And it was me writing down the vampire rules. It was me writing this down. And I said in that live stream I had never played D&D. I still haven't. I never played D&D, I never played roleplay. I only played video games. So I know how to play I know how to play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That's an RPG. I know how to play a few other RPGs that are on we could probably look at my Steam right now. I have a lot of RPG games that I played. Mass Effect, Jade Empire. Like, there's a lot. Morrowind, Oblivion, Daggerfall, Skyrim. You know, I played like all these RPGs. I play a lot of RPGs. Played Witcher. I played a lot of RPGs. But I never played tabletop stuff. So I created the system with just 2d6. So 2d6 is just 6-sided dice, 2 of them, and that's really all you need. What did I say again? Urgolim. Oh no, it's fine with me. I don't mind. I don't care if someone compares this to D&D. I've heard someone call this a TTRPG, so I said TTRPG because it's better than comparing it to D&D. Because if I compare it to D&D, guess what happens? People from D&D come in here and they're always like, "Where's the D100? Where's the D20?" It's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck those are. No, no. Where's all the classes? It's like there's only like a few classes. You don't need like that many. Also, I don't really like D&D when I read it because D&D takes like an hour, maybe more, just to create a character. When it comes to this game, you just go to character sheets, which I uploaded. So right over here on Discord, if you're looking, Green Raptor, because I think you're on my Discord, I have this Word document called character sheets. So you just download that, and this is it. I would recommend saving this document alone before you edit it. And then once you edit it, you just start putting things like name, blah, 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 race, vampire, clan, Rahabim. And then there you go. Now you already have 5. The Rahabim get +2 to their perception, so they're at 7. And now when you create a character, you get a +1 stat or a trait. It could be either one. Because right over here in character creation. So you choose your clan. In this case, the Rahabim. They get +2 perception. And they get -2 wounds from water. That's cool. Higher chance to fail martial attempts. So they get -4 modifiers. So that's what you do. You just start plugging this in. So you put -4, -4, -4, and then everything else you just do -2, -2. Cool. And then you just simply go around and go, okay, that's my character. Now, when it comes to creating a character, everyone starts with 5 unless specified by a clan. They're allowed to put 1 point into a stat or take a trait for -1 stat. If they take a negative trait, then they could get +2 to a stat. There you go. And guess what? Just like that, you can start the game. That's all you got to do. Start the game. So here we go. La-di-da-di-da. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put that 1 stat point into perception. So now it's 8. Well, with 8, that comes with a +2 modifier. This comes at 0. This comes at 0. This comes at 0. And this comes at 0. Now you may wonder, how do I know 8 is a +2 modifier? Well, we just simply go down here. This tells you what the stat effects are. -2 modifiers. And then it shows you the charts. So if you get 6, that's a +1 mod. And then melee proficiency of 5 is 0. Melee proficiency of 4 is a 0. And here's the chart to show it. So if you're at 0 to 1, -2. 2 to 3, -1. 4 to 5, 0. 6 to 7, +1. 8 to 9, +2. 10 to 11, +3. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh, I've never played Soulsborne. I've never played that. But whenever you do an attack, so if you're playing the game, right, Green Raptor, if you're doing an attack on somebody, it's your stat modifier plus the modifier of whatever skill you're having. As a vampire, your goal is to get high stats because skill-wise, you're not going to be that good. Humans, it's the opposite. Humans, they want high stats, but it's so difficult to get that they're just better off putting all their points into a skill. And humans are better off with a single skill. Vampires, you can kind of spread it out a bit. You could be like, you know what? I want like 5 points in the melee proficiency and then 5 points into ranged. So that way I can use a sword and I could use a bow. It's like, okay, go ahead. A human, they cannot do that. Humans, it's hard enough to play as a human, so you really need to specialize. You really, 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 really need to specialize. But as a vampire, you may have noticed if you created a character with a stat sheet, you're like, damn, I really suck at everything. Yes, that's the point. But as you noticed, I have 8 perception, which is +2. +2. So, if I have a +2 modifier, and I have a -4 modifier for ranged proficiency, then that means I roll a -2 modifier. And you may say, well, what's -2? You go all the way to the top. All the way to the top is right here. If you have a -2 modifier, then this is what I need to pass or fail my shit. So I need to roll with 2 dice, a 9 or all the way up to a 12 to succeed. If I roll an 8 or lower, I fail. If I roll a 4 to a 2 or a 3, I crit fail. Crit fail means that you're going to hurt yourself or something bad happens, like your gun blows up or something like that. Like something really, really bad is going to happen. And that's essentially how this game works. Now, you can imagine you can have really good modifiers if you just keep dumping your points into a stat. And you may say, well, what happens then? If I have 0 skill in something, but I have a stat that's like through the fucking roof to the point that it makes up for the difference, that's totally fine. You know what happens? You do like 0 damage. Because damage is calculated as this: stat divided by half plus skill divided by half plus whatever your item quality is, and then that equals your damage. So if my stat is like 20, which is ridiculously high, 20 divided by 2 is 10 plus 1, because I have only 1 point into a skill. So 10 plus 1 is 11, and then plus whatever item, whatever, is going to equal, what, 12, maybe 13 damage. That sounds good, because that could definitely kill a level 0 vampire who's got 10 HP. But then you start getting into things like, do they have armor? Or more importantly, how much HP does this guy even have? And if you're starting to look at something like that, then it's like, okay. Whereas if you had like 18 in a stat and then 10 in a skill, now you're looking a lot better. Now it's 9 plus 4, which is going to be 13. So you're already at that damage. Now you're adding the item quality, which could be +3. So now you're doing 15 damage. It's a much better outcome. But yeah, so that's kind of the point. There's a lot of things about this game that's very interesting that I intended as the design, is I wanted it to be difficult, where it's easy to pick up. It's easy to understand the game. Very, very easy to understand. But it's very difficult to master, because the game is so simple. It's very simple for you to die. It's very easy for you to get fucked and get caught in a really, really bad area. And that's what just happened in the previous live stream with Fuddy, is that he was doing really good. He was killing people. He was really powerful. But then he engaged a tribe of savages where their sheer numbers just overwhelmed him. He was killed, pummeled to death. And that's the thing about World of Nosgoth, is I've designed it where fighting 2 opponents is doable. You might be able to do it, but you might take some damage. Whereas fighting 3 opponents or more, fuck that. Get away. You just gotta run away. There's no real outcome for you. You gotta get out. And that's why it's really fun to watch players, because when you level up, your HP gets bigger and bigger. So when you're leveled up and your HP gets to like 25 or 40, you're like, oh wow, I could take damage where before I couldn't. That's fine. But if you get 25 damage or higher, you're going to suffer a negative trait. Like someone may have shot you with a bow so hard that your eye popped out. Now you suffer half your perception because you lost half your perception when your eye came out of your fucking skull. So it's like, oh, fuck. So even when you're at max level, you're like, do I really want to fight this guy? Yeah, it's a one-on-one, which is easier. But if he hits me just one good hit, I could suffer severe disabilities. Like, he may just cut my leg off, so now I have one leg. Like, fuck. You know, do you really want to do that? So that's kind of the point of the game, is that there's a lot of things that could go for you, and you can be very, very successful when you start to get into the rules and you start going, ooh, I could do this. Ooh, I could do this. Oh my god, I could do this. But then you also realize, if I get into a fight, this guy could rip my arm off. I don't know if I want to fight that. Let's see. And then you're talking to other players who play the game, and they'll probably exchange stories like, oh yeah, man, exactly, Green Raptor. So depending on your stats and build, you got to strategize depending on the scenario and enemies you're facing. Exactly. You could do the One Punch Man thing where you're just, all your points are into strength and all your points are into melee, so you just punch someone really fucking hard and you could like punch a building in half. That's great. But that's not going to work for every scenario. There may be a scenario where you literally cannot do it because the enemies are shooting at you from a rooftop and you just can't get to them. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. There may be a person you need to rescue, but they're on the other side of a cliff and it requires you to be stealthy or else they're going to slit the bastard's throat. You can't do that. You're not stealthy. That's fine. I think that's fun in a game when there's limitations. It's kind of like why I like Morrowind and Daggerfall a lot, is that you can't just join every single guild. Like, why am I joining the Mages Guild when I'm a bumbling retard barbarian who has an intelligence less than a rock? Like, how is that a mage? I don't even cast magic. And that's where Morrowind and Daggerfall would tell you, yeah, you actually can't join them. Sucks to be you. So you're not allowed to play this mage storyline because in the end, you just can't cast magic. You're not smart enough. That's fine. I don't mind that. And that's why I put it in this game that there's severe limitations. There's ways that players can screw each other, and there's also ways that the scenario just might not be advantageous for players. Yeah, my favorite thing is the Spirit Realm, because the Spirit Realm is a good indicator of how fucked you can get. There we go. Leader of the clan is Ergo Blackwind, aptly named due to his massive black scimitars. That's plural. Thank you. Scimitars, black steel blades as he whirls into combat, skewering foes in half. There we go. The fifth clan is the. So we did the Rahabim, now Zephanim. We'll do Defying Screech. That's the thing too, is that when you play Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen 2, Soul Reaver, Soul Reaver 1, humanity is all over the place. Some of them are like industrial, some of them are super posh Englishmen. There's gypsies, there's some French dudes, there's some weird ass like Roman esque type people. It's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? There's like barbarians and shit. So Legacy of Kain has all these different types of humans and cultures. So when it comes to me and you, the player, creating a game, I don't care what you create. You tell me that you've got like some Arabic pirate vampire, I don't care. That sounds great. Let's play it. Like, I have no idea, dude. Yeah, like guns are a thing too, but guns are only allowed for humans. And the reason why is because we never see vampires use guns. And then also the Hilden, we don't see them use guns either, but I do have like a Hilden case where they could use guns. So I leave it up to the players, but I say no, only humans can use guns because I've only seen humans do it. can't do Stanley, I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. There we go. The fifth clan is the Defying Screech, a Zephanim clan dedicated to the arts of necromancy and pilfering the lands to add to their treasuries. They typically have unending mine shafts that never cease production as they use their necromancy magic to summon skeleton miners to do their bidding. As it stands, they make excellent necromancy enchantments and have the ever goal of reaching the wealthiest clan in the lands by beating their competitor miner clans. Leader is the hunched arcane sorcerer named Spirit Breaker Slike, gaining his power by apparently stealing a fragment of a Melkahim's soul, adding his powers the secrets of undeath trapped within the Melkahim. So these descriptions are, yes, they're going to be added in whenever a player enters an area, because these are generalized knowledge. This is knowledge that is just generic. Like, everyone knows that there's a bunch of groups. Great. Much like the Demon Realm that I have created, where you know a little bit about the place, but you don't know enough. Like, you may not know why the city was created or what's its main market, but you're a clever enough person to discover, like, okay, there seems to be like 5 groups fighting for control in the city. Like, okay, there may seem to be like something like that going on. I gotta delete the Porphyrin because they got wiped out. So now there's only 2 Melkahim clans. Shit. Flow him. Okay, we'll do flow him. Oh yeah, Doom. There we go. There we go. The last clan is the mighty Flahim, made by the leader of Flow. He is a reaver who interrogated an ancient human soul that told him and his comrades the location of Denim and its rich ores. Flahim clan is comprised of all reavers. They're hell bent on not only taking one's life, but their very soul in the process. They make awesome enchanted weaponry that supposedly is guaranteed to protect your soul in the afterlife. Supposedly. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen. So yeah, when it comes down to it, the Flahim are going to be a clan of all Reavers. Now, notice they're a clan of all Reavers, but they are not a clan of all Reaver Melkahims. So you could join the Flahim, but you have to be a Reaver. That's the only thing. You have to be a Flahim. If you're not a Flahim, it's no go. I just noticed one of the mistakes I wrote down here. Interesting. There we go. So we got a Flahim of Reavers. Now you may wonder what's a Reaver class. It's down here. The Reaver is a damage warrior, provides magic into the damage and defense calculations. So it's your magic skill plus all your damage attack equations. You can enter the spirit spectral realm with a ritual, and you can either kill spectral entities for 5 XP or cure a target player of a spectral entity effect. One of the nice things about the Reavers is that you can do an attack called Soul Tear. And Soul Tear, you take away people's stats and you also do 10 damage flat. Reavers can also give a permanent stat boost to themselves if they kill a target and then go into the spirit realm to kill the target again. I think that's just so cool. So what it is that if you're a Reaver, you're like, you know what? I want to play as a Reaver. Go ahead. The interesting thing with the Reaver is that you have to kill something. So let's say you're fighting. Let's just say you're fighting like a massive mutant who has like 6 arms, 6 blades. So he's attacking you 6 times in a turn. Just boom, 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 boom. He's just beating the shit out of you. Finally, you kill him. And you're like, oh my god, that was tough. So you start sucking his blood. You regain your HP. And you're like, wow. I want to increase my stats. So let me just go to the demon realm. Spirit realm. And let me fight him again. But this time, if I kill him, I can permanently suck an attribute out of his soul and put it into myself. It's a very dark magic, but you could do it. And it's really cool. Now, of course, I would probably add, like, because again, I leave the game open to interpretation, so you may say, well, a Reaver sounds really fucking busted because then I could just kill a bunch of rats, or I could kill a bunch of slaves who have no armor, no protection, no HP, and then just go into the spirit realm and then boom, just grind my stats up to 100. That's why I say that this is based on your game master. Like for me, I wouldn't allow that because I would be like, that's kind of stupid. But someone may say, you know what, I'll allow a certain limit of slaves or a certain limit of weak creatures that you kill. Or someone else may say, you know what, Reavers can only get stat points if they kill a creature stronger than they are. It's like, ooh, that could be really interesting. That could be really interesting. Yeah, exactly. It's like, ooh, that could be spicy. There we go. The next area I have is Hell Falls. So Hell Falls is going to be one of those neutral areas, much like because I have to do a clan overview map. So like what clan owns what. Smokestacks is owned by Clan Torellum. The Necropolis is owned by the clan Melkahim. Great. But other places like Denham's gonna be just open. All of the Empire owns it, not a specific clan. And Hell Falls, I'm gonna put as well as being a generic, as in everybody lives here, and no specific clan owns this because the Empire owns it, not the clans. Duma, yeah, he does have that forge. It's like a giant explosive fiery forge. Yeah. But what I'm doing is I'm designing a different kind of forge. This is mostly just an exporter of just standard weapons. Nothing as crazy or as awesome as the Denim place. So Hell Falls is going to be more just regular steel, regular iron, nothing too crazy. Just arm the masses, and that's it. Nothing too crazy beyond that. It's not an amazing forge. It's a good forge, don't get me wrong, but it's not like amazing. You're not going to find dark Renaissance steel here. If people have it, it's from somewhere else. Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, if you come here to Volano, no, it's Volcano. Thank you. If you come to Hell's Falls, it's right near Dark Eden, and it serves as like a final resting place before you go to Dark Eden. But you can also get here from Denham to Hell's Falls to City of Doomahim, or you can go from City of Doomahim to Hell's Falls, then go around to Vazerbund, my bad. Stuff like that. Like these are ways of getting through, and these are ways of navigating places. But basically, Hell's Falls will always lie in this path if you're trying to get around to this area. It's not the center of trade exactly because there's other places that are much better in the center of the empire. Like we have Port Searchlight, which is much closer to like 4 different cities. We have Bloodhaven, which is actually the center of trade in the middle of the empire. This city, Bloodhaven, is one that I created, and it's basically the main exporter of blood. But in recent years, due to constant war that they've been unable to export blood because they've been sieged by like the Tyrannok for the past 70 years. So we're gonna see how that works out. So a lot of the stuff that is cut content, I am kind of incorporating. For example, when it came to the Demon Realm, there was a lot of like planned content, but they never made a game for it. Where they wanted the Hilden to have like a mega city, and they wanted it to be a city where there's different types of Hilden, where the Hilden who are basically inside the city, in the deepest layer of the city, were basically untouched. They're not touched by insanity, they're not touched by anything. And if you go to my species codex, that's exactly what I put in mind. As I was like, that sounds actually really cool. So you have these, the Blessed. The Blessed are leaders who live in the highest echelons of society, and they have no insanity. They have no mutations, but at a cost, regular Hilden hate them. Regular Hilden do not like them because regular Hilden had to suffer outside the fucking city gates, and they've mutated. They've gained insanity. They've gained all sorts of nasty traits. And here's the Blessed who are untouched, and they just look at them like filth. Absolute filth. You haven't suffered like we suffered. Also, I did some things like the Everseeing, which are Hilden who have like a third eye on their forehead. So they're able to access different planes, different realms, and they're able to cast magic from those areas. So these guys are usually used to summon demons and also to, possibly revive other Hilden. Then there's the Damned. The Damned is coming from the Seraphan Lord because the Seraphan Lord has like this green fiery miasma. They call it the Ignis Fatuus that swaths around his head. I said, what if that was a clan? So I made that into a clan where if you have this fiery miasma, you can cast magic. You can cast all sorts of magic that's not demonancy. So you can like curse someone, you could read their mind, you could make someone just get blasted by an energy bolt. That's the kind of shit that happens. I don't know what combustion is. I've never watched Airbender. Avatar the Airbender. If I say Avatar, I've seen Avatar, James Cameron, but I haven't seen Avatar the Airbender. I've seen the porn on it though, because you wouldn't believe how many hentai comics there are about it. And I don't really get it. But then again, I've never seen it, so I don't understand it. It's kind of like one of my favorite things about doing those like hentai reviews was that sometimes people put the weirdest shit in there of characters that they want to see have sex. I don't know why. It's so funny sometimes. It's like, what the fuck do you mean? Oh man, it's funny as hell. Isn't Avatar about Isn't Avatar with the old guy and stuff with the big ass beard? I gotta look it up now. See, this isn't the Avatar I'm talking about. It's like an old guy with a big ass beard, isn't it? I don't watch it. I don't know. Hold on. Old guy with beard. I could see that that did not narrow it down in any way, shape, or form. This. Because that's what I've seen a lot of people making for some reason. Damn, there's a lot of old guys with beards. Oh my god. Whoa, what is that stash? Whoa, unibrow. Whoa. Interesting. Yeah, I got no idea, dude. I don't watch that shit. So, Oh, is that what that is? That old guy? Yeah, I have no idea, dude. See, I don't watch that shit. Okay, like I watched Overlord. Overlord's really good. But when it came down to it, I just wasn't really interested. Like a lot of like shows that people love, shows that people cannot fathom a life without, are shows that I find really annoying. What was it? Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people love Breaking Bad. They love it. They're always like, "Oh man, did you see that drama thing that happened? Oh my god, I don't know how he's gonna make out of it, but it was so cool when he did. Oh yeah, man, it was really awesome when he did." And it was like, wait, what am I missing? Let me watch the show. I watched it. I was bored. I was genuinely bored, and I was confused when I was watching it too. I was like, wait, is Breaking Bad a comedy? Like, it's funny. It's really, really funny, but they don't play it as funny. They keep trying to be serious. They keep trying to be dramatic, trying to be very, very tough and serious. So I can't laugh. If it's a comedy, it's failing, and if it's a drama, it sucks even harder. And then comes out the sequel, Better Call Saul, and I watched Better Call Saul. I was laughing so hard. It was so funny. And that's what it was. It was a comedy drama. It was so good. And it's like, wow, if only the original Breaking Bad was like this. And mind you, I actually hate Breaking Bad. I find it very, very boring. But Better Call Saul, fucking hysterical. Because it kind of been what it should have been, which is a comedy. So I guess we'll do. So Smokestack and City of Doom, I'm not going to do anything on because I mean I could literally just rip something from the Wikipedia page and just type it in there. Because again, I'm trying to work with both established lore and my own creations. Put them together, you know? So Silence Cathedral, Smokestack, we're not doing anything for Camp Libertus. That's one of my creations. I'm gonna put something about that. So Camp Libertus, let's look at the map while I explain this. So basically Kane's empire is all around here. This whole area. A good half of the map, if you would. Camp Libertas is right next to the ruined city of Avernus. And Camp Libertas is designed to be a center hub, a giant camp, if you would, where the vampires of all clans can just hook up, buy some blood, buy some potions, get ready, because they're going to go on a very long journey. And what they're doing is they're going to be going out here into the desert wasteland, the ruins of Stahlberg, the ruins of Wehrstein. They're going to be looking through the plains of blood, looking for a human, any human, that they can capture and bring back to Camp Libertas and sell to the blood farms. This is how the Empire keeps getting new humans, is they keep having to go out, try to find the tribals, capture them, come all the way back. Now, the thing is, if you are playing as a human, Camp Libertas is like where you want to destroy. If you can rally all the humans in the area to destroy Camp Libertas, that would be significant. That would be huge. Now, of course, it may not be a long-standing victory, considering that Camp Libertas functions a very important role in the Empire, but it's still a victory that's very powerful. So the human map, I'm going to put a bunch of dots all over the place, all over the plains of blood, stuff like that. And these are all tribes. These are all camps. These are all war areas. Areas that are functioning as secret hideouts so humanity can stay united secretly. Like, I'm going to put one over here, I'm going to put something over here, I'm going to put something over here, but only the humans can see that on their map. The vampires, not so much. The vampires are going to have to just randomly roam around and try to find something. There is dogs, yeah. If you look at the human codex, there's actually a Beastmaster class that can summon dogs. Yeah, it's kind of the thing, Green Raptors, that a lot of the questions you've asked me, I've already implemented. Think about it. 3 long years designing this game. I've already done it. You just got to go through it and eventually create your own character and play with your own friends. And this game is pretty much done. I just got to, keep tweaking things, keep adding new stuff, new campaigns for players to join. And hopefully more players join the Discord, so that way I can do like fun little adventures. Like Fuddy here, we had all this dialogue between me and him. And this is just me and him just chatting like, oh, you rolled the dice. Okay, you did this. Oh, Dr. Alf looks at you with a gaping mouth, aghast. He cannot believe what treason he is hearing. Like, stuff like that. And I'm really good at writing, so it's really easy for me. Like Nox is a place that I created here. Oh, it's not a problem, Green Raptor. I don't mind. I've been planning on keeping this up. But Urnox is a location I designed, and it's gonna be a dungeon. Like, this is a place that you cannot do it by yourself. You literally cannot. You have to have friends. You have to have allies, resources, something to take this place out. And this is both true for the vampires and the humans. And they have agreed to work together. So with that, we've been designing for quite a while now. I'm gonna end the stream here. It's been 2 hours. Good deal. Besides that, see you guys next time. Thank you for the support. I know you see like 20 million versions of me. I love it. I love it. I love it when there's 20 million versions of me. God, look at that sexy head. So besides that, see you guys next time.